Breaking, Greta Van Susteren breaks her silence, exposes major MSNBC lie. The left's mission is to silence all opposition voices, or I would say opposing voices. Although they preach, quote, free speech and tolerance, they don't believe in either. If they indeed allowed free speech, the left would lose, since people would see the absurdity of their views. Longtime news veteran Greta Van Susteren is the latest person attacked by the left. She left liberal MSNBC, though the network would have us believe she left over contractual conflicts. Van Susteren took to Twitter to call MSNBC on its lie. Contract disputes had nothing to do with it. Greta Van Susteren's tweet: "It was not contract conflicts. That is a fact." Van Susteren worked at Fox News for 15 years, hosting the popular program On the Record with Greta Van Susteren. Before that, she was on CNN for a number of years. Her stint at MSNBC was comparatively short, just 6 months. MSNBC doesn't want TV viewers to know the real reason Van Susteren is leaving. They're sacking her for not towing the line of the station's radical anti-Trump slant. Unlike her co-workers at MSNBC, Van Susteren strives to take a balanced approach to her treatment of current events. This isn't surprising. The fact is, MSNBC is one of the most liberal, quote, news outlets in America. The orders to trash Trump come straight from the top. Although MSNBC tries to sell itself as a breaking news, quote, station, they're nothing more than a propaganda machine for the Democratic Party. MSNBC is part of the cartel of fake news outlets that have declared war on Donald Trump and the American people. CNN, ABC, and the New York Times and the Washington Post are among the biggest servants of the globalist establishment. This latest move by MSNBC illustrates how low the left will go to stamp out conservative voices. Censorship is what they seek. Liberals don't honestly engage conservative ideas because they know their side is intellectually bankrupt, but they like to create the appearance of fostering debate. That's why they hire right-leaning pundits like Van Susteren now and then. It's called, quote, controlled opposition. They bring in conservatives who they then cajole into supporting liberal causes to prop up an illusion of consensus. Just look at the embattled Morning Joe Scarborough, who's also on MSNBC. He was supposed to be a conservative. He then served for a time as a Republican member of the House of Representatives from Florida. But over the last year, he's done nothing but attack Trump. Anyone who sees Scarborough would think he's a Democrat. There's also Megyn Kelly. NBC brought her on board after she turned on her pro-Trump base at Fox. By giving Kelly a platform, NBC is trying to tell people, look, even conservatives hate Trump. Their plan is so obvious that anyone can see through it. It does not surprise anyone that Kelly's career is currently on the ropes, but they couldn't do the same thing with Van Susteren. Since she wouldn't play the role of controlled opposition, MSNBC sabotaged her show and then let her go. That's unethical. The mainstream media just won't learn. They're losing credibility. No one believes them anymore. The fake news is making itself irrelevant, and Americans turn to outlets that tell the truth. The media is failing, and they deserve it. And so absolutely true. So absolutely true. People are hip to this, and there's only a few. Believe me. I'm just saying, if this was not backed, the mainstream media, like CNN, was not backed by George Soros, they would have been out of business a long time ago, and they would have changed their tune. But because Soros is giving them the money, they don't care even if they get 2 views on the thing. They don't care because it's being funded by George Soros. Meanwhile, he's robbing us blind because Obama's giving him the taxpayer money to support liberal causes. So he's actually not actually paying for anything. He's paying with our own money because of the corrupt leaders. Let us know what you think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.